All right, first try as we get into what we're going to be covering today, which is some 2v2 games from the Champions Road 2v2 event that Epic is running. If you don't know what I'm talking about, Epic ran a Rumble 3v3 tournament, a 2v2 tournament, and a 1v1 tournament in the weeks up and coming to the World Championships. It was a very cool idea, and they ran these for just about every region that the RLCS has. So MENA and South America and North America and Europe and SSA, etc., etc., etc. It was awesome. They fell short in one big way, though, if you ask me, which is that they didn't stream it. They didn't stream it anywhere, and they didn't allow team streams anywhere, which means a lot of interesting games, I think, went by the wayside. Fortunately, I think this match maybe was streamed from Nwpo POV. Nwpo did a good amount of streaming in his games in MENA, but I wanted to cover these ones because I think a couple people have looked at the TRK, Nwpo versus Rawas and Kalir's matches, which a couple of those did happen, and they are quite interesting, but it was not the closest matches that happened to the eventual champions, which are actually on the field, and it is TRK and Nwpo. But Ops and Ghazi. Ops is actually somebody who we have watched play a good amount before. He's played on Team Rock, which is now Vision, and we are actually watching his POV here for game one of what is going to be a best of 5 between these three. But his teammate is actually someone that Ops, Dr. No, Nush, all those guys have actually said really high things about, which is Ghazi, as Ghazi is going to get a nice speedy outplay, and Ops will be the one to demo to make sure that it's a goal to go up 2-0 against TRK and Nwpo. But I just wanted to make sure we cover these games because I have a feeling that Ops and Ghazi are not going to get the kind of attention that maybe, you know, other players who got eliminated by this duo and maybe got eliminated easier are going to end up getting. So Ops, Ghazi, these are guys to watch out for. I don't know what we're going to see from Ghazi in the future. I think he's on a top RLCS team. It just wasn't on Vision, who we were focused on a little bit more. Will Vision continue to be the same team? I'm not sure. One little bit of news that we maybe haven't mentioned before is if you watched us, Idris was the coach for this Team Rock team, but apparently by decision of the org, we will no longer see Idris alongside Team Rock, aka Vision. But we only have one of those team members here now in Ops. And he is the one who plays the least amount of 1v1, so maybe one that we didn't know that much about as he goes for a sidewall double. Ghazi is going to send the ball screaming into the ceiling as now Ops looking for the reset, wave dash, deciding he can't score, doesn't want to put a powerful touch into TRK. He's going to back all the way off, and everyone is stopping. Everyone is stopping. Clearly something is going on in their lobby. You know what's funny is I was watching a game. They seem to have decided to keep playing. These games are set up on Start GG. I watched the game. I think it was Ops Ghazi maybe versus Dr. No Nush. So it did have 3 of the Team Rock players. And they all just, you know, got into the same spot and dogpiled for a good portion of the game. And did not play the game at all. So while these are very high prize pool tournaments, considering like you would see this level of intensity or a maximum level of intensity in certainly a even less you know, steep prize pool in some community tournaments. These guys seem to be taking it at least somewhat easy while they were playing. And I don't know what happened there for the moments that everyone clearly stopped, but they're back in. And Ops and Ghazi continue to be up with 2 minutes left to go. Ops launching a flick top right off to very little boost. Ghazi gets just enough in order to make sure this long clear is not on target. 50 put out to Ghazi, and Ghazi actually puts it directly back on Ops' car and says, go to work, here you go. I'll give you a little bit of space and a chance to go 1v1. And Ops proves to be up to the challenge. Back wall clear to Ghazi, who's going to double off the ceiling, gets the reset. TRK gets a save, but not a great one as he had to wait and react. Ops wants a double, needed the triple to ground pinch it in, or just needed the double to be on target, because I actually don't think TRK would have been able to stop it. But I do like Ops all over the ball, back passing to Ghazi instead of just leaving the ball there for TRK and Nwpo to take control. Of course, TRK and Nwpo haven't done a ton of introduction for them, but I think you guys know who those two are, and they have been playing together as their preferred duo, as Rawas and Kalir as the twin brothers, being the ones to play from Team Falcons. Nice catch from Nwpo and flick top shelf. Gonna bring this one within 1. This was not played 2 months ago. This was played 2 days ago. I think it was played on Sunday. It is, wait, maybe it's Thursday. No, it's Tuesday now, right? So I think this was a nice dunk by Ops. These were games that were not played long ago. 2v2 tournament was this last weekend. 1v1 tournament coming up. Unfortunately, the 1v1 tournament is going to run into similar problems to this one. We're going to be at the mercy of players who are willing to stream their gameplay in order to get to watch some matches. We're going to hope to watch party live as Trk and Nwpo do a good job to combine for a goal. A little bit of defense from the teammate not on the ball. Rushing upfield. Maybe an intentional loss from Ghazi, and it seems like it was. I actually want to go real quick and look at this kickoff from Ghazi POV because it didn't seem like a full-on Spanish. It seemed like he went and touched the ball. Oh, no, it is a full-on Spanish. Full-on Spanish. Never mind. I thought he tried to get a little bit of the ball as well, but he just turned off it really late. 5-3 now in favor of the youngsters. I think Ghazi is maybe not quite as young as the Vision team, but I do think he has got a lot of Rocket League life ahead of him either way. Ghazi going to boom this big clear. Trk dunked, and now there's no longer enough time to bring it back in this game. In fact, Nwpo not even moving. So they will hit it to the ground, and Ops and Ghazi go up 1-0 in a best of 5. Game number 2, we're going to hop on to Ghazi POV just because I think that this is a player that probably those of you on YouTube and those of you in chat have seen the least of. We've gotten to see a little bit of Ops. Everyone's seen Trk and Nwpo. Let's take a look at the eyes of Ghazi as he plays against what is the toughest 2v2 duo in MENA to take down. Ops denied on the goal line. I actually haven't seen these games already, so I am watching with you guys as Ghazi recognizes the chance to clear out the nets in favor of his teammate. And I know Trk and Nwpo, their names align right up with that 0, but that is their series score. We would try and use our overlay, but this is getting recorded right after the update came out where the overlay relies on Bacchus mod. That's a quick play from Ops. Not only a great 50, but to be able to get back off the ball and take a quick shot, and then it seems like the communication between these two is on point. Ghazi leaving the ball for the Ops follow-up while trying to go for the bump. I think he's just trying to get Nwpo out of the way. He didn't seem to be really attacking the ball so much, just attacking the angle that Nwpo would have to defend at. Ghazi going to pass back to his teammate, but this one from far out, Trk and Nwpo going to have no trouble making that save. Nwpo boomed the back wall. Ooh, actually, a pretty big mistake from Ghazi. We have seen them really match the intensity of Trk and Nwpo so far, but that is the first time we've seen a mistake lead to a goal. And now, in a tie game, Ghazi dunking over the top. Boost steal as Ops is able to 50. Ops actually chased down that ball, and that might have gotten Trk to back off. Trk low boost anyways, but being so chasey, or at least feigning as if you're going to be so chasey, might have made it a bit easier on Ghazi, who is now going to try and challenge Nwpo. Tough guy to try and dispossess, but they do manage to do so. As Ops going to flick on target and is able to get it in. Decides to just go solo against 2 defenders. I think that's the right call. Trying to find a way to pass that deep into the orange half is incredibly risky, and Ops recognized his chance to score without any help. Right now, I feel like the Ops Ghazi team has had the vast majority of possession. Nice read from Trk and Nwpo. Even though Trk and Nwpo have kept it generally close, and obviously they're keeping it tied right now, it seems like they've just been really effective on the possessions that they do get. Otherwise, it's been Ops and Ghazi trying to continually break down Nwpo and Trk, and a lot of that has to do with them just being all over the ball. As soon as they even get on the orange side of it, they're turning back and just continuing to make plays as much as possible. As Nwpo Gonna send this one soaring to the back corner. Ops, that's not the 50 he wanted. Ops not able to stop TRK from sending it soaring out midfield. I don't think Ghazi was necessarily even prepared for that. Interesting double kickoff strat in twos. You know, we've seen that in the RLCS now, used a decent amount. But even that is with the slight safety valve of knowing you have one more person back in case it completely messes up. But Ops and Ghazi seem to be willing to go crazy with it. And then, you know, this is interesting. Now 2 goals that we've seen for TRK and Nwpo that seem to come from just kind of mechanical errors and missteps that do not go with the rest of their gameplay. Everything we've seen from them would suggest that shouldn't be a common occurrence. But maybe it's just a little bit different when you're playing against the 2 big names on the opposite side of the field. This match happened in the upper bracket, so neither one of these duos has gotten a loss in any series yet. A lot of the early rounds played, I think, best of 3, maybe even best of 1 really early on. Might be making that up. Might have been at minimum best of 3. But now best of 5, and this one certainly deserves it. Minute left to go. Ops and Ghazi need to find some offense. Ops completely out of boost. Ghazi thinking about creeping in, but Nwpo just soaring across the field, never having to hit the ground. Nice speed. This one's going to fall maybe directly on target, and it should be followed up and in. Almost got it without any help from Ops, but a clutch up from Ops and Ghazi. Now within 1. Ghazi, a 50. Can't leave it off for Ops. Going to try and play all by himself. It's a bit of a slow play. And now stuck on the goal line without much boost to work with. Nwpo is just a madman on the ball as he looks to make clears. Great touch by Ghazi. If TRK gets demoed, it could have been that last goal they need. Now, with 9 seconds left to go, it's going to have to take a mechanical mastery from Ghazi to keep this in the air and in a scoreable position, but it will likely hit ground right here in the corner. And game number 2 will go to TRK and Nwpo. Game number 3, let me update the scoreboard. TRK and Nwpo taking one. Again, this is a best of 5. So it is tied 1-1 now. And we are back to watching from Ops POV, the MENA youngsters. They've put up a good fight so far, but the 2 goals, I think they ended up losing only by 1 goal, but a couple different goals just kind of from mechanical head scratchers from these 2, which at the end of the day, I think could be attributed to nerves and something that could potentially clean itself up fairly naturally with time as you get into more and more of these games, because a lot of what I'm seeing shouldn't suggest it happens very often. What a save. Actually powering through the bump attempt to, I think, pool shot that save, and then Ghazi cleaning it up. Now Ops going to ceiling height. TRK brings it just slightly higher, but what Ops does do is he forces TRK to use that flip, make an outplay, and make it much easier for Ghazi to make the read afterwards. And a very aggressive play from Ops, because to go for that flip for the demo, the end result is bringing himself into the net and really, really damaging his recovery. But it pays off, even though he doesn't connect. So he now completely leaves the play and gets read like a book. Dangerous possession from Ops. I mean, that's why you want to try and stay in the play as long as possible. Ops decided it was worth it to run away and try and pick up 100 boost. And the end result is him having to rush back and then go for that fake. TRK reads it and immediately scores. Ops backing off, having to play 1v1 here because you clearly tell Nwpo does not get involved as TRK looks for that setup. So what could have been a 2v2 is actually just 1v1. Ops gets the demo and a pop over the top of TRK and eliminate Nwpo from the match. And a 2-1 lead for Ops and Ghazi, who are going to go for a Spanish. Ops does never really get close to connecting, but the kickoff into their back corner isn't the end of the world. Pass upfield, and my even replay warped, so their connection to the server must have shown a ghost hit, as it was just pixels off being the perfect setup. Not the cleanest of all saves, as they're going to still be scrambling. Yeah, I think that save could have been cleaner, as he does not get a powerful touch across the goal line and allows Trk and Nwpo to follow it up for another. Fake kickoff attempt from Ghazi, I believe. I don't know if he got for another demo. It seemed like he missed intentionally. Ops, camera check, trying to see what he's dealing with. Does just tap the ball over Trk once Trk moves in. And now a bump attempt. Well, he goes double jump bump. Trk did force that to be played quick enough for Nwpo to be able to make the save before the arriving demo. Ooh, nice pass from Trk. That's an insane pass from Trk. Not easy to get that angle when you're so low on boost out behind you to your teammate. But he just puts it on an absolute platter for Nwpo. Now sidewall double missed. Nwpo gets the demo onto Ghazi. (3-2) with 2 minutes left to go. Ops, decent speed, cost him his life. Ghazi able to avoid a demo attempt. Ops and Ghazi gonna stay down 1. As Ghazi looks to take away the ball out of Trk's hands. Ops, bit of a risky play since he was the last back as he tried to 50 Nwpo, but despite losing, Ghazi does make it back. Now Ghazi running ahead again, seemingly just trying to take defenders out, or at least Trk out, because as soon as he realized he wasn't going to get that, he does back off. Demo from Ops. If his teammate could have won in the corner, maybe a better position. But Nwpo does stay alive and is able to get the clear. A minute left to go. Pass infield from Nwpo to Trk. Soft shot. Back off from Nwpo. Maybe just playing his lead with a minute left to go, because it did not seem like Ops had full control of that. Maybe Ghazi was sticking around just off screen behind Ops closely in an attempt to follow up quicker and punish Nwpo if he did dive. Nwpo not one to be passive when he has any other opportunity to not be. Ops, not the best save attempt on the goal line, but ultimately get out unscathed. Now a couple touches between the team to bring this to the net. Soft touch from Ops, and it's in with 22 seconds on the clock and 2 defenders there. Not able to stop him. Now Ops and Ghazi. Ops leaving it midfield, teeing it up for whoever wants it. Nwpo's going to be first to it, and now is seemingly trying to block Ops from making a play. Well, what an interception from Ghazi. He just fell from ceiling heights in order to stop the 0-second opportunity. Now 3-3 to OT we go. Nwpo trying to chase Ops down. He jumps to the back wall and gets a nice 50, all things considered. And now he's actually going to chase Nwpo down and get a demo. Trk has to completely leave the field. Ops is actually the one with a better boost advantage, so he'll be the one to take it up in the air instead of Ghazi. And now he gets another demo, an absolute menace on the field. Trk gets the ball taken away from him. He wants another demo. That one a little bit more telegraphed. Nwpo prepared for it, was going to jump it. As Ghazi uses the last flip and a miss on the back wall. And Ops and Ghazi make it 4-3 to make it 2-1 in the series. We are going to hop to Trk POV for game number 4. Large in part because look at this car. Actually out here taking risks and not just rocking the same Mina Fennec. Live chat here. What is this decal? I don't even know if I've seen anyone use it before. But it's looking nice as Trk and Nwpo now in the upper bracket. Neither one of these teams' life is necessarily on the line, but they're looking to try and get into the winners finals, give themselves 2 chances at winning the tournament. And Trk and Nwpo are going to be sweating now as they need 2 wins. And it's going to be a first goal for Nwpo. It's a Season 13 SSL reward. Oh, okay. So what you're telling me is I completely booned myself by saying I had never seen it before. Gotcha. Interesting passiveness from Trk. I'm just surprised to see that. Nwpo going to get faked, but buys time for his teammate. And now is going to try and go the length of the field. Does get challenged. Another 50. Trk scored Ghazi. He didn't score the ball, but he did score Ghazi. Nwpo. Aggressive challenge. Taking the ball back into their half, but not into Trk, who has not really been able to catch up to the play. It's just been Nwpo who's been forced to do everything, and eventually they're going to get punished for it. Only so long can one person handle everything. And eventually, Nwpo does break down as Trk finds himself just slightly out of the play every time. And the kickoff goal means Ops and Ghazi are up 2-1. And potentially going to punch a ticket to the winners finals with 1 more win. Trk reset 50. Ooh, Ops, what a save. Popping that one straight to the ceiling. Trk with a lot of space. As Ops and Ghazi reset. Look at Ghazi go. Able to 50 both players. Nwpo, that's an insane angle. Nwpo is actually doing Nwpo things here now in this series. And turning impossible situations into goals. Trk trying to chase Ghazi down. Trk, by the way, a couple different people having him as the #1 player in the world headed into Worlds. Like CJ and Johnny Boy in their top 25 lists. Having Trk as their #1. Anyone else in chat have Trk as their #1 performer at Worlds? I mean, I assume that would mean you believe the Falcons are going to be winning. The Beast Mode disrespect did seem a bit too high on that ranking, but I guess we'll see. Ops, not the best touch ever. Trk, what a double. Actually does get saved. Pretty smart from him to not just shoot on target, instead go for what was a really tough angle double. I think he could have even made him user on himself, but went really far away from the net to set it up. Does at least guarantee that he's not going to get interfered with until the shot gets sent on target. But him and Nwpo up 3-2. Trk trying to muscle through 2. And maybe he did enough. Nwpo can't get around it. Will back pass. Trk on 0. Doesn't know what to do here now. Does outplay around Ops and decides to just leave the ball for the one-man army, who has done a good job scoring all by himself, and he'll do it again. The one-man army will do it again. We'll make sure to watch from the one-man army's perspective in the next game in case he continues to go nuts. But it's always been the case, as neither one of them really make the play here. It's always been the case that, you know, Nwpo's teammates really do need to back off and play a little bit safer, because despite the fact that Nwpo seems to be able to create offense at will, he's not necessarily known for always being available defensively at the cost of his antics. But it seems that Trk is more than happy to kind of sit back and just allow the magician to go to work. And why not? I think that clearly plays into Nwpo's strengths. And he may just be better than anybody else in the world at creating that offense, although he's going to get red here. Little demo as he brings this back into his own half. They play so fast in MENA. just everybody in the lobby, even when we're watching Ops and Ghazi, they seem so intent on just staying top speed, getting to the ball, and figuring everything else out later. And it's led to, you know, a lot of even double commits and people being all in the same place. But the recovery is so quick that it doesn't really matter. Chip high from Mr. TRK. 4-3 with 10 seconds left to go. Nwpo passed both as Ops and Ghazi seem to be diving in here late. Hard to blame them considering they needed a goal in the final moments. But still a very sweaty game number 4. It looks like TRK and Nwpo will be forcing game 5 in this series. Ooh, nice 50. TRK is going to do it at 0 seconds. So TRK and Nwpo and Ops Ghazi, they go to game 5 in this winner's semi. And we'll check out the last game coming up next. Nwpo POV for game 5. Again, this is Champions Road 2v2 over in Mina. It's looking like, from what we've seen so far in the Champions Road tournaments, Saturday or Sunday, the final day, is a must-watch. Maybe a couple solid games here and there. Definitely enough to get a stream off of, if you ask me, Psyonix/Epic. But at the very least, it's, you know, clear super RLCS quality on that final day. And this is one of those games that happened then. We just need to get somebody in the lobby. Vatira versus Diaz. So for those of you who are watching the YouTube videos, you're probably going to see Vatira versus Diaz first. But it actually happened live. A few games got played, and then they're going to have to go back and finish the last 2 games live. It will not be replays. They're going to hop back in and finish it out. It's 2-1 Vatira as of right now. So I'll try and make sure to get that one up before this one, now that I've mentioned the scoreline. But I'm pretty sure it will be. Now, Nwpo and TRK up 2-0. And this is kind of how it goes when big brothers are often in the lobby. And I think right now, you know, Ops and Ghazi, they're not related to TRK and Nwpo, but currently the kings of the region. And when it comes down to the wire, oftentimes the kings of the region seem to clutch up as they are prepared to be in these situations. Nwpo kind of got ahead of himself. Could have even slowed down the play a little bit if he wanted to outplay that last defender. Ops staying on the ball, leading to a 50. Nwpo actually going to let TRK get this one. I feel like we spent the last time watching TRK POV and Nwpo wasn't once ever behind the play. He was ahead of it the whole time, but we've seen a couple different occasions now where Nwpo's let TRK go to work. Now trying to rush back out to this ball. Even if he doesn't get contact, he does take out the most obvious path for Ops to go. He's low on boost now. Ops the double. Great punishment. I mean, Ops and Ghazi have converted on every awkward moment. We've watched TRK and Nwpo in defense, and it seems like they're not looking clean. Ops and Ghazi are getting those buckets. That's what you're going to have to do if you ever want to get big wins. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. Okay, they still got it. I was about to say, maybe not. Maybe not if they don't score this wide open net after the bump. But fortunately, nobody was in the stratosphere. So even though it's off the post, they're there quickly to follow it up and in. That's insane that Nwpo jumped for that. But that's just the Nwpo experience. He's a believer in his speed, man. He said, I'll get to this first, even though both his teammate and the opponent were clearly getting to it first. And then he just uses his boost to push back down to the ground. Ghazi going to make it 3-2. TRK and Nwpo, like I'm talking about in Game 5. Could be sent to the lower bracket if they don't clutch out here. Nwpo almost a frustration camera toggle, it would seem, or just a boredom camera toggle. Because when you're as crazy on the ball and as fast of a player as Nwpo, waiting the 2 seconds or 3 seconds to float back down to the ground with 0 boost, it's got to be absolute torture. TRK has a 1v1 against Ghazi, but Ghazi actually gets the save. And Nwpo didn't really stick around aggressively. Kind of just believed in TRK's ability. Instead, backed off. But he is going to keep his team on offense. Trk needs a bump. He gets it. And Nwpo, not the best shot ever. In fact, he misses it. He misses the shot after Trk gives him the wide open nets. Down 1 with 1:30 left to go. That seemed like a must score. Nwpo reset over the top of 1. Demo onto Gazi, which is good because Trk was getting chased down. Could have been in big trouble. But Nwpo going to take it clean away. Wins the race to the ball. Now bumped into the corner. Chip over the top of Ops. Uses that secondary jump to push himself back down to the ground. Fakes as if he's going up. Keeps Gazi frozen on the goal line. And Ops was just a couple pixels away from a touch that completely breaks up Nwpo's attack and does not... I mean, it doesn't make it impossible to score, but it definitely makes it much, much tougher. Because he didn't touch it all, it allows Nwpo to go ISO 1v1. And I think ISO Nwpo against just about anybody in the world is not a good sign for the defender, despite the good things we've seen from Gazi. So now, a tie game with 43 seconds left to go. Nwpo sends a 50 high. Actually goes for it himself, which I never would have expected. But this is the madness from Nwpo. The fact that he was able to recover from the 50 and just rush back up to the ball with such ease and get a completely clean beat. Now at 4-3, a kickoff win from Trk and Nwpo. Nwpo resets and into the net. So just like that, a 2-goal lead with 27 seconds left to go. And that's the X factor that Nwpo seems to have in a game that's really close and could go either way. Nobody's, getting clean offense. Nwpo will just create an opportunity out of nothing. And all of a sudden, the game is in your favor. And there's not a ton of people who can do it as well as he can. Miss from Ops. Nwpo will get another goal. So Nwpo, the clear star here in this series between Trk Nwpo and Ops Gazi. But this was the closest series that were given to Trk Nwpo. I know I kind of spoiled it before, but Trk Nwpo do go on to win. They actually win 2 series against Rawas and Kiliers without either one of them going to Game 5. So Ops and Gazi actually give the best fight to Trk and Nwpo. So I wanted to go check out these replays, not just to, get to see what it looks like from the winner's POV, but also get a look at Ops and Gazi, who are rising stars over there in MENA. MENA has started to produce world champions now that we have Rawas, Kiliers, Trk. I'm not saying that I was given the script and that they win, but they're definitely of the caliber that could win. And so you got to watch out for the next up, which I think Gazi and Ops are definitely part of. So I wanted to check this out for a YouTube video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. We recorded it live. Hopefully the chat enjoyed. But now let's go finish Vatira and Diaz. Hopefully you guys will see this uploaded, right before this one.